Hi, welcome to the first session on Like Someone in Love by Bruno Major. I know I said last week that we'll probably take 2 or 3 sessions on this. I think we might take a little bit more, just purely because this solo is so dense and there's so much to learn from it. So, I don't know how many sessions we're going to take on this, but join me for the ride on it. We're going to start by just looking at the first couple of bars and this giant cadenza that just before he actually starts. So there's a bar where he plays a massive amount of semiquavers, and it's quite tricky. So you've got to be really careful you're picking on this. So let's quickly look at it fast and slow, and then we'll pick up from there. Okay, so that's quite fast. So let's slow it down. So what we've got in this cadenza-like thing, so a cadenza is basically a flurry of notes beforehand, usually quite highly virtuosic. It's kind of, that word comes from the classical tradition. Here there's no accompaniment underneath. So there's no drums, no bass, no keys, no extra guitar, no vocals. So it's just him on his own, and it's a steady stream of semiquavers here. So you've got to be really on your mark. So definitely get your metronomes out to practice this from slow to fast. Okay, so even though this tune is quite jazzy, there's some jazz vocabulary in there, but it's quite bluesy really, especially that 6th interval at the end. The bit that he does at the beginning, it's basically a major pentatonic scale, okay, but he's joining the notes of C and D, so the 2nd and 3rd notes in the scale, okay, which he joins with the C sharp in between. So follows the scale up and then goes into the next octave and does the same thing. Now I use my 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th fingers there because that's quite tricky. Okay, so that'll take some practice, so definitely slow that down. And then he does something which I call fencing in the jazz tradition. There's lots of different names for it, but basically you're aiming for a note, in this case B flat, and you go below and above. So that's diatonically, which means within the scale notes of the B flat major scale, diatonically above and below. So note A to C and then B flat. Okay, quite satisfying. And then he goes to the note of G, aiming for the note of G, does the same thing but does it chromatically. So F sharp, then to A, which is within the scale, and then to G, but it kind of sounds a bit outside. So a little bit like what's about to come up next, which is kind of whole tone scaley. Which sounds really outside, quite hip really. So, and again, because that's all over the fretboard, just be careful you're picking. So, okay, and then at the end, as he comes back down, another pentatonic-y thing, and ends on this 6th. It's well worth playing your scales in 6ths. So if you're in G, G major that is, it's well worth trying that, learning your scales in 6ths all over the guitar, because as Bruno's using it in his solo, you can see how it sounds cool. So definitely try that. So that's the cadenza at the top there. Already tons of stuff within that just one bar, even before the actual solo proper starts. So we might be here for a while. Have fun with that. It's all on the transcription. Again, like the YouTube, like the Facebook, like the Instagram. Send me a message on Instagram, Facebook, or email info@exeterguitarlessons.com, and I'll see you for the next one where we start looking at the solo proper. Bye.